What's going on, y'all? Sean here, and I want to give a message to some of you who are feeling like getting on this fitness journey. Making yourself exercise and kind of eat some of the right things is um is a very difficult thing. Like it's a big mountain to surmount. Um, it's not as hard as you think it is. And again, I know that's kind of like of course you would say that, Sean. You're a personal trainer, but no, I understand what I'm saying. So last night my family and I were coming back from a family gathering and everything, and I don't typically like to drive at night. I don't. I don't know what it is. I used to drive at night before, and it'd be no issue. But the glare of the of the lights and stuff, and the mirrors, and all that kind of stuff, and just driving fast at night, I don't really care for it. I don't know what has happened, but anyhow, I digress. So um so I won't say I was dreading it because I wasn't dreading it, but I wasn't too pleased about it being nighttime and us leaving once again at night. But just went ahead and did it, and it was about an hour. It was a little more than an hour drive and whatnot, and just got on the road, with my family, turned on a podcast, and my wife and I and family talked a little bit, and before you knew it, we were back home, and I wasn't, there was a couple of times where I was like, man, I don't like this, but it wasn't really that bad at all. And I like to compare that to how it is with exercise, like or even like the eating aspect of changing your body. It's kind of like that. The worst part of it really and truly is like initiating yourself into it. Okay. And that's real talk. It really is that way. And I think a lot of times people don't really understand that because they're looking at it from the outside, like looking at it almost as if you were outside of a store or something like that. And so you're like, man, inside the store you look and you see people who are toned, ripped, you know, quote perfect bodies, at least the way that we think of it. And so you're like, man, it's just so hard. Look at them. They exercise all the time. It's like you have to do so much to get to be healthy like that. But then once you actually go in, if you get yourself inside the store, then you'll look and see, well, it is there's a lot, but then you really get into it. You see how you actually get into it, and it's not as intimidating as it looks. The hardest part is getting started. So, when I was growing up, and I don't really watch a whole lot of TV anymore, so I don't know if this is still the case. But when I was growing up, there were a lot of infomercials, especially on certain channels of TV. If you're about my age, 30s and up, you probably know. And they would have all these weird contraptions like the shake weight, where you get the weight and you shake it. It's supposed to help you to get in shape. Or like the thing that you put around your waist and it kind of makes you shake and it's supposed to shake the weight off. Or um, you know, even some of the other stuff that I feel like could be more legitimate, like the thing that Chuck Norris would always excuse me, that he would always kind of be on the infomercials for, the total body gym or whatever it is, where you be able to do all this stuff on there. And and then then you had other stuff like uh the thing that you put on your abs, and then you kind of like it flexes your abs by itself and supposed to give you a good workout while you just kind of walk around and do desk work and do the laundry and stuff. And then it's supposed to give you these built abs, really without you having to do anything. And the reason why I mention those is because all of those, like I say, maybe the thing with the Chuck Norris thing is not as much of a gimmick, but the other stuff for sure was, shaking a weight. But here's what they did though. What they did is they would get these models or whatever who were like built, ripped, all this kind of stuff, and get them like shaking a weight, and they're like smiling. Oh man, this is intense, you know. But they didn't tell you that these models that they got, these fitness models, were people who had a lifestyle, a lifetime of a lifestyle of fitness, and so it's very misleading. But that's really the point I want to make. These people actually did live the lifestyle before. And so you couldn't possibly believe that they got a shake weight or they got like some sort of like electrical stimulator for their abs and it got them ripped abs. It just looks good, to do that. But again, I say all that to say they had to get started somewhere. They had to start somewhere. It could be that some of them were high school athletes and they continued on, or otherwise they still had a journey. And you never start out a journey, at least if you're going to do it the smart way. You never started out, spending hours and hours in the gym or anything like that. At least, like I say, if you're going to do it smart, or at least you wouldn't do that without like some help, a trainer to kind of guide you because you can get hurt like that. But and it's probably cliche, but I still chose to come on here live and say it. And if you come on and you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. But you have to start somewhere, and starting is the hardest thing. I often tell people when you get started with exercise in particular, start off with walking like 5 minutes. Do that every day. And yeah, you want to like be off to the races and go ahead and start losing weight as quickly as possible. I get it. I understand. But you got to understand like one of the main ingredients to that is being consistent. So you got to get started and you got to keep on showing up. That's really what you need to do. Okay? Like I know how it is in the magazines. I know how it is now with social media, all these people with fitness accounts and you seeing what they're doing and you're like I got to do that now. I get it. You probably could do some of that stuff, but a lot of stuff you don't need to worry about. You just need to start and be consistent because that's really the main ingredient. You got to start and you got to be consistent. So show yourself you can be consistent first. Okay. You want to get started with some calisthenics and stuff like that, by all means, go and get started. Okay. And, if you've been watching me, I have some workout programs, mini workouts, 10, 15 minutes that you can do at home, which might be a good start. It starts at beginner level, and now I have, I think, 10 workouts. So it goes through intermediate. Eventually, it will go to advanced level. But yeah, so that might be a good resource for you to get started. But like, just get started, man. Just get started. And you don't even have to go to the gym. You can, like I said, you can start walking. You can start doing a few wall push ups and door threshold pull-ups, as in like more so like rows where you hold the inside of a door frame and you pull yourself up or something like that. You might start out with something like that and that'll be good. But don't overcomplicate it and don't count yourself out, because I find that a lot of people, especially if it's somebody who does not have a workout background, I find that a lot of people have a very unrealistic view about how stuff really is. you know, Especially if they're starting from zero and they may be more likely to start and get themselves hurt or get frustrated and stop or have negative, very negative self-talk about how things are. And you just got to get out there, and this is going to be a pretty short video, but I'll say this, like you have to kind of be able to feel the discomfort of change enough to know that you're gonna be all right. What I mean is, like being one who's exercised, since I was a kid, like my single digits, I would run with my dad and my brothers and whatnot. We go run almost a mile. It's probably about a mile. Um, and that stuff hurt from what I recall as a kid, but I knew I didn't want to stop. I wanted to kind of up, um, hang with my dad, and so I was always like not gonna stop, and then we would come home and do sit-ups and I would do the sit-ups. And excuse me, sorry y'all. I woke up not too long ago. But anyhow, that history helped me. to like know that whenever I ran track or whenever I go to the gym and lift weights and stuff like that, I wasn't gonna die. I just need to kind of like stick with it. And so that's an advantage for me. But somebody may listen to me and be like, well, yeah, so you did that when you were younger, so it's easier for you. And if you do that, you're kind of missing the point. My point is you gotta have your initiation into experiencing that discomfort and being okay with it. So even if it's for you now in your adulthood, you 35 or whatever, it's all good. You have to get started somewhere. So you go ahead and start getting your discomfort reps in, because once you do that, then you kind of start to really understand I'll be all right. I'll be fine. I don't have to be so concerned about um discomfort, not, like, man, I'm gonna hurt myself. I just need to quit. I need to quit while I'm at it. You just gotta get used to being uncomfortable because that's just part of it. Really, if you really think about it, any change is uncomfortable. Any change is. It's just we're so used to the convenience of this world. So especially Western society, like us here in the United States, we're so used to convenience that we don't ever really want to like get out of that. We want to stay comfortable. We want to eat what we want to eat. We want to watch what we want to watch. When we want to watch it, we want to be on our phones all the time. All these different kind of things where we just kind of become like these entertainment and convenience just sponges. Like all we do is consume, consume, consume. And nah, man, no. So anyway, I'm gonna be doing these lives. I plan on doing one tomorrow at 10. So if you have any questions, make sure you come on here and I'll answer them to the best of my ability live. And yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. As I always say, your doctor's not responsible for your health. You are. Okay. All right.